Okay, in this video we are going to understand FCL. FCL stands for Framework Class Library. Here, what is exactly meaning of Framework Class Library? Let us try to understand. So listen, when you are speaking in a language, you have to use some words. For example, you are speaking in English language, Hindi language, or a different other natural language. You have to use some set of words. Without words, it is not possible to speak or write in any language. Similarly, to write the programs in a programming language also, we have to use some words. That words are technically called as classes or functions. Classes or functions. In different languages, we have to call them as differently. For example, if you take any object-oriented programming language, suppose Java is a object-oriented programming language. C#.NET, VB.NET, all these are what? Object-oriented. Total .NET is object-oriented. So, in the object-oriented programming languages, generally, we have to call them as classes. We have to call them as classes in object-oriented programming languages. But if you go to a little bit older languages like C language, Pascal, in the older languages, we have to call them as functions. So, there are some predefined classes available. Predefined functions available. The predefined functions or predefined classes are called as library. What is the meaning of library? The predefined classes or predefined functions are called as library. Let us take one example. Suppose you are writing the program in C language. You are giving some file name with the .c extension. Inside that, we are writing a statement printf hello. So this is the valid statement. But if you write this single statement as it is in C language, it will not work. Why? The reason is that printf is a function. It is defined in a predefined header file. What is the header file? stdio.h. Inside the stdio.h, there is a definition for printf function. Here some implementation is there. To display the given value to the monitor, to the standard output device, there is some implementation part. So this printf definition is exist in which header file? stdio.h. Standard input output header file. Not only printf, there are many other functions exist in the same header file. So the header file exists and our program exists. There should be some connection between them. We have to load that header file into our program. How do we load? Hash include stdio.h. That means the stdio.h header file will be loaded into our program. So we are eligible to use any function present in that header file in our program. So this is the basic concept. So why we have discussed about the C language? Because printf is a predefined function. What type of function is it? It's a library function. Like this, we have many functions available. All those are called as library functions. The library functions are present under one header file in C language. Similarly, you take C++, you take Java, you take different languages. Some library functions are available. Library functions, or if it is object-oriented language, library classes. So the set of library classes which are related to .NET are called as framework class library. Why it is called as framework class library? It is a set of predefined classes. What is the meaning of predefined? Already the .NET itself is providing. Who developed .NET? Microsoft. So Microsoft itself is providing some set of classes. So that is why we have to call it as class library. This is common for C#.NET, VB.NET, ASP.NET. For everything within .NET, this particular FCL is common. for all types of .NET programs, for all types of .NET languages, for everywhere this FCL is common. Okay. Now let us discuss what are the different predefined set of classes available in FCL. So FCL, under FCL we have different classes, but how many classes available? More than 2000 classes available. But all the classes are not important in the actual real-time programming. So as per the availability, more than 2000 classes available. But we require some categorization, like which classes belongs to which purpose. Purpose wise we have to group them. That is the reason we have a concept called namespaces. These classes are grouped up into a set of namespaces. What is exactly meant by namespaces? Namespace is a collection of classes. A namespace is a group of classes. Why the namespace concept is introduced? Because the namespace is used to group up the classes. Then we can easily say, okay, this namespace meant for this purpose. If we want to do this particular task, we can go for this particular namespace. Like this we are able to group them. That type of classification is possible. That is the reason namespace concept is introduced here. So we have a set of namespaces. System namespace we have system.data namespace available, system.io, system.text, system.globalization, system.collections.generic, system.windows.forms, system.drawing, system.web, system.web.mvc. Like this we have many namespaces. The most important namespaces list is this one, and each namespace has its own set of classes. Let us briefly discuss what is the purpose of each namespace. Anyway, in the actual for the classes and programs, we are going to understand and clearly identify each and every namespace and its classes. But at the beginning level, just for overview, I am going to explain about the briefing about these namespaces. So if you find any new terminology which you may don't know, don't much confuse about this. Okay, the system namespace contains several classes for developing command line applications, data types, conversion, and other regular programming tasks. So almost in every program we have to use some set of predefined classes that belongs to system namespace. Command line applications means the application programs which executes on command prompts. Data types like int, float, double, decimal, plus conversion. You may want to convert the value from one data type to another data type. Suppose you want to convert from string to integer, integer to string, or any other regular programming tasks are involved in the available in the system namespace. And the system.data namespace contains several classes for connecting to databases. You created a program and you want to connect that particular program to database. Why you want to connect to database? To store the data permanently. I will give an example. Suppose we have a Facebook. Just open your Facebook page and enter your email ID, phone number and password, other details. Click on register button. Then all those details are being stored in some particular place in where it is storing in the database. The Facebook website is an application plus Facebook database is a data storage. So there is a need of communication, connection between the application to database. So the connecting point is what? System.data namespace. In the system.data namespace, we have several classes for connecting, storing and retrieving data from database. And system.io namespace contains several classes for file handling. What is the meaning of file handling? You want to open the file, you want to create the file, you want to read the data from existing file, you want to delete the file, you want to rename the file. All these file activities are done by several classes under system.io namespace. Programmatically, you are able to operate the files by using this system.io namespace. This system.text namespace contains several classes for regular expressions and other conversions, text conversions. Okay, for example, you want to perform the validations in real-time application. Validation means the entered value is correct or not. For example, somebody said my mobile number is 1234. Will you accept that? No. So what will you say? The mobile number is having some specific format. The mobile number should be having 10 digits, should be started with 9, 8 or 7, no spaces allowed. This type of rules and regulations we have. So in order to perform this type of validations, the value is correct or not, we require which one? Regular expressions. That mobile number correct or not, email address correct or not, all these validations are done by regular expressions. The regular expressions code is available in system.text. Plus, sometimes you want to convert the value from ASCII format to Unicode format to ASCII, otherwise ASCII to byte format ASCII. This type of text conversions are again done by system.text. ASCII means American Standard Code for Information Interchange. ASCII means what? For every character we have a suitable number. But ASCII supports only English language characters. Unicode supports all the ASCII characters plus it supports all worldwide language characters like Hindi, French, Chinese, all the languages characters supported by Unicode. That's why Unicode is better in modern days. So this type of conversions are again done by system.text namespace only. System.globalization. This namespace contains several classes for displaying the output in user local language. For example, you developed an application in English language, but that English language application may not be much user friendly for some normal users who are not that much aware of English. They want the language in their own local convention, maybe suppose Chinese language or French language or Spanish language. In their own language they are expecting the output. So in order to convert our application to the local language, we require which concept? Globalization concept. To perform this globalization, several predefined classes are required. All those classes are available under system.globalization namespace. System.collections.generic. This namespace contains several classes for collections. So collection means the group of items. For example, I am collecting all the details about the student. Suppose in front of me 100 students available. I am collecting each student details. I am going to each and every student. I am asking him student name, what is the roll number, what is the marks, what is the course name. I am collecting details about each and every student. So after collecting all the student details, every student details I want to store as one unit. One unit is equal to one student and a group of units equal to one collection. So to create this group of data, to create the collection of units, we require which concept? Collections. To create the collections, we require some predefined classes. Those classes are available under system.collections.generic namespace. Next, system.windows.forms namespace. This namespace contains several classes for development of Windows Forms applications. What are the Windows Forms application examples? Calculator, Notepad, MS Word. These are all examples of Windows Forms application. But these are predefined, somebody made it. So we can make our own user-defined Windows applications by using system.windows.forms namespace. And actually, as a part of the system.windows.forms, we require one additional namespace, system.drawing namespace also we require. The system.drawing namespace also used for Windows application, but its concept is contains several graphical activities in development of Windows Forms applications. For example, you want to display images, you want to set some icons, you want to display the position. This type of graphical activities are done by which one? System.drawing namespace. Basic forms can be created by using system.windows.forms, but displaying icons or images or specifying the position of the element in the web page, representation of position in the Windows form. This type of graphical activities are done by system.drawing. And again we have system.web. This namespace contains several classes for development of web applications. See, if you take Google, Facebook, YouTube, all these are what? Web applications. To create the web applications, some set of predefined classes are required. All those are provided under system.web namespace. And recently in the market, there is a huge demand for MVC. Nowadays, most of the companies are developing web applications by using MVC architecture instead of regular conventional programming. So in order to use MVC, in order to work with MVC, we require some predefined classes, and those are available in system.web.mvc namespace. This namespace contains several classes for development of MVC applications. MVC application means model view controller. Anyway, after completion of C#.NET, we'll start ASP.NET. After completion of ASP.NET, we'll go to MVC. There you can understand the exact meaning of model view and controller. So we have understood the overview of the several namespaces. These namespaces will be used in the actual further programs and further classes. So if you find any strange point for you, don't much confuse. In the further programming, we'll understand details about all these things.